lunar electric vehicles for NASA, robot smiles, flying buses, robot diggers, and artificial intelligence news. All the most interesting things from the world of high technology in today's one issue. Lockheed Martin and General Motors will develop a lunar electric vehicle for NASA's Artemis mission. The lunar terrain vehicle will be equipped with an autonomous driving technology, machine vision system, and it will have a higher range compared to the Apollo mission's lunar vehicles. In all, NASA plans to fund the development of two types of lunar vehicles: the open-air lunar terrain vehicle, or LTV rover, and the larger enclosed lunar surface science mobility system. The second will be a sealed, multi-wheel mobile research laboratory. The LTV lunar rover is set to be fully electric, capable of being recharged by onboard solar panels or other systems, as well as external infrastructure to be placed on the moon. The LTV would carry two outfitted astronauts and cargo weighing up to 500 kilograms for distances reaching at least 2 kilometers on a single battery's charge. But even before the Artemis mission launches to the moon, NASA plans to send its first mobile robot there in search of ice and other resources, on and below the satellite's surface. Data from the Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration Rover, or VIPER, will help the agency map resources at the moon's south pole that could one day be collected for long-term human exploration of the moon. VIPER will, for the first time ever, use headlights to explore shaded areas of the moon. These areas have not seen sunlight in billions of years and are some of the coldest places in the solar system. Operating on solar power, the VIPER will have to maneuver quickly between areas of light and darkness to stay warm. The rover will be able to roll on the surface or use the wheels as legs, raising and lowering them on loose surface. VIPER plans to be launched to the moon in 2023 and will last at least 100 Earth days. In the future, robots will do most of our space exploration for us, so it's important to get them to cooperate flawlessly. The PRO project aims to get multiple robots to work together to complete these tasks. A recent video from the project demonstrated the coordinated work of the Veles six-wheeled rover, the Mantis six-legged walking robotic system, and the mobile gantry, a four-wheeled system with a 3D printer. We're looking forward to seeing robots like Mantis go exploring other planets, as they look much more spectacular than the rovers. Researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have developed fingers for the Digger Finger robot that allow the robot to identify exactly what kind of object it has found in sand, rice, or other loose materials. The fingers are thin enough to penetrate the sand, agile enough to wiggle freely without getting stuck, and sensitive enough to detect the shape of buried objects in detail. The finished sharp-shaped device is equipped with a tactile sensor, which is a 2 square centimeter sensory membrane with gel underneath it. The RoboPad can vibrate and bend to keep it from getting stuck in the sand. Researchers expect that in the future, the device will be able to recognize objects in the sand or underwater, whether it is a cable or a mine, without errors. Columbia engineering researchers are using artificial intelligence to teach robots to respond correctly to human facial expressions. This is expected to increase trust and sympathy for the robots. The result of 5 years of work as an autonomous EVA robot with a soft face that tries to mimic the facial expressions of the people around it. The robot can express 6 basic emotions: anger, disgust, fear, joy, sadness, and surprise, and also tries to imitate more subtle emotions. Facial movements is controlled by artificial muscles, that is, cables and motors, that attract certain points on the EVA's face, mimicking the movements for more than 42 tiny muscles of human faces. What do you think? Do you think this robot has succeeded in expressing emotion, and does it make you more sympathetic because of it? Let us know down below in the comments. Toyota Research Institute has shared with the world the original design files and complete instructions for assembling its soft bubble gripper robotic gripper. The goal is to accelerate the development and improvement of soft robotic technology. We hope our friends and colleagues can test our technology, improve it, and bring us closer to creating robotic assistants that help provide independence, dignity, and joy to people with disabilities or age-related challenges. Said by Alex Ausbach, the manager of TRI's Tactile Robotics Group and lead developer of the Punyo Soft Bubble Gripper. For those wondering, we'll leave a link down below where you can find the robotic gripper instructions down in the description. Tesla has patented a body cover for the Cybertruck with built-in solar panels. The panels will power the traction batteries. The roof, which is a roller shutter with built-in solar panels, will be available as an optional extra. And by the way, the company has already received over 1 million pre-orders for the Cybertruck so far. The Boring Company has begun extensive testing of its transportation system under the Las Vegas Convention Center complex in Las Vegas. The transportation will be done, of course, by Tesla electric cars. The system is more than a kilometer long and has 3 stations, with the beginning and end located above ground and the middle station about 10 meters below. So far, the project is not working as it should because of the speed limitations of the cars and numerous flaws. But we believe that things will get better in the future. Microsoft introduced a new technology based on the GPT-3 natural language processing algorithm. A new helper feature in Power Apps turns natural language into ready-to-use code for creating websites and apps. The feature can only create formulas in Microsoft Power Effects, a simple programming language from Microsoft Excel formulas, which is used mostly for database queries. However, it shows tremendous machine learning potential to help novice programmers by functioning as an autocomplete coding tool. The U.S. startup Merlin Labs has received support from Google to create systems for autonomous aircraft control. The technology can be integrated into any aircraft and provide fully autonomous flight mode without any remote controls. Test flights are planned to take place at an aerospace complex in the Mojave Desert of southwestern United States. The U.S. startup Kellicona has unveiled a 40-person flying bus with vertical takeoff and landing. The electric vehicle relies solely on the aerodynamics of its fuselage, which allow it to land and take off from relatively small sites. The developers claim the machine will be able to carry a payload of up to 4.5 tons, with flight ranges being more than 500 kilometers, and will cover that distance in only an hour. The Airbus will fly thanks to 4 blocks of twin-channel propellers and variable pitch blades. The blocks are pivotable, which will allow using the propellers for takeoff, horizontal movement, as well as the landing. The drop-shaped, flattened fuselage is supposed to create lift when moving horizontally. But where is Kellicona going to get a battery capable of lifting such a takeoff weight? So far, history is silent. But the Chinese company Ehang has presented an absolutely real design of an autonomous aerotaxi for regional flights with ranges of up to 300 kilometers. The 2-seat VT-30 drone can stay in the air for 100 minutes or travel 300 kilometers on a single battery charge. The drone has undergone a series of airfield tests and will soon be ready for field deployment. The model, in the form of an airplane with a pusher propeller, is equipped with 8 propeller engines for vertical takeoffs and landings. Remember that single-seat aerotaxi Ehang is already flying in a number of cities in Asia and actively promoted in Europe? Where's the company going to build a drone port for all these taxis? In addition to air taxi, people in China will soon be able to travel by trains on a magnetic cushion. Soon, the Celestial Empire will build a test line for such trains, capable of speeding up to 1,000 kilometers per hour. Construction has already started in the Yangao district city of Datong. This year, China has already launched its first magnetic suspension trains with speeds of up to 600 kilometers per hour, and it's time for a new stage. Tests will take place in 3 stages on lines with the length of 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and 15 kilometers. The interesting part of this project is that the movement of the train takes place in a tube with a partial vacuum. Unitree Robotics puzzled everyone on its Twitter feed recently, posting a video and asking followers what it could be used for. If you have any ideas, let us know in the comments and we'll post the right answer from the company later. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of high tech. The largest robotics conference in China, new robots from the most advanced technology companies, a mission to Venus, unmanned vehicles, and other high-tech news in today's one episode. China hosted the largest robotics conference, the ICRA 2021. Guests were greeted by Yuyang robot dogs from Deep Robotics. The company's robotic delegation includes the Yuyang Pro, Yuyang, Yuyang Mini, and Yuyang Mini Lite models. Yuyang, a robot designed for business. It can adapt to difficult terrains and has, according to the company, many usage scenarios. The Yuyang Mini and Yuyang Mini Lite are versatile and agile robot dogs with voice interaction, autonomous positioning, mapping, autonomous navigation, and real-time obstacle avoidance functions, as well as the ability to follow a specific person on command. The Hitachi research team presented its technology for controlling a robot when working with shape-shifting objects. Researchers are seeking to automate workplaces that only humans can occupy because they have to work with unpredictable objects. For now, they work with any tissue, anything soft, flexible, and anything that does not retain its shape. The new technology automatically retrieves the necessary information about the position of robotic arms and their interaction with shape-shifting objects, helping the robot to learn without programming. In addition, it can perform unlearned movements based on voice instructions that include the physical characteristics of the object and the type of movement. That is, the robot can be commanded to unzip a green zipper, and it will do so. The Italian Institute of Technology presented its new teleoperated robot at the ICRA 2021 conference. The robot combines the strength and power of its predecessor, the HiQ Reel, which you can find at the link in the hint, and gave it a new robotic arm controlled through a VR helmet and exoskeleton arm with 3 fingers. The teleoperated robot, referred to as teleoperativo, is designed to work in difficult and dangerous human environments. It can open doors, reach firefighting equipment, collect valuable objects, navigate in the dark, and walk over difficult terrain. The controls are intuitive, with the operator seeing everything from a first-person perspective. Tencent Robotics X Lab, which not long ago introduced its 4-legged robot combining legs and wheels, showcased a new development at the conference. The robot Ollie is based on the lab's accumulated mobile control technology. It's positioned as a breakthrough in motion planning, balance, and stability. Ollie, only 35 centimeters tall, can jump up steps to 40 centimeters, jump up 60 centimeters, and perform 360-degree somersaults. The robot keeps its balance when moving on an uneven surface, bumps, and collisions. It's energy efficient due to the use of wheels and is also quiet. Ollie also has the ability to plan the trajectory in advance and maximize motor performance to achieve a given movement. Robotics and Autonomous Systems Group, CSIRO, spoke at ICRA about advances in the development of its unique Magnapods autonomous robot inspector for condition monitoring, repair and maintenance of metal structures. The robot can change the number of legs depending on the task and moves by magnetic adhesion. Magnapods can climb into the most difficult terrain and hard-to-reach places and work in confined spaces. A connected tether provides a data link as well as other power tools for the robot. This removes limitations on the robot's operating time and allows the robot to be controlled remotely. Robotic Systems Labs presented a predictive control model of robot environmental interaction for mobile manipulation tasks at the conference. Today's torque-controlled service robots can adjust the contact force when interacting with its environment, but they often need an accurate model of their environment, and the robot needs to be retrained to interact with objects in a new environment. Robotic Systems Lab engineers combined a control-based whole-body controller with predictive models with 2 adaptive circuits derived from online system identification and adaptive control. This allows a conventional mobile arm to interact with unknown environments without the need to reset parameters or pre-model interacting objects. Robotic Systems Lab also recently showed off its 4-legged robot for Mars exploration. On the Spacebok robot, engineers tested static and dynamic motion with 2 different types of foot, point and passive adaptive flat. These tests were conducted on the ExoMars rig with a simulated Martian surface and at an angle of 25 degrees. Robotic Systems Lab engineers also showed off a new area of their research, the dynamic animatronic dyno. Usually animatronic figures are static, that is, they are not capable of independent movement in space. The researchers decided to bridge the gap between animatronics and mobile robots. The end result was supposed to be a realistic and cute character that could be programmed to behave nimbly as a four-legged robot. Unitree Robotics, which says its goal is to create robot dogs as affordable as drones and smartphones, has unveiled another robot dog, and now for just $2,700. Go 1 is a small-sized robot that has positioned as a reliable autonomous companion capable of following humans and avoiding obstacles. There are 3 versions of the Go 1, the basic Go 1 Air for $2,700, the Go 1 for $3,500, and the Go 1 EDU for $8,500. The middle version reportedly includes better recognition and computation as well as a 50% longer battery life. The robot's top speed is 17 km per hour, but that probably applies to the older version. The Go 1 EDU also offers high-performance computing, 2 kg more payload at up to 5 kg, as well as leg force sensors, LiDAR, a hardware expansion interface, and API access. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology is developing a dynamic humanoid robot that will traverse any rough terrain with ease. On its own, after all the tricks of Atlas the robot, it wouldn't be too impressive if it weren't for one nuance. MIT engineers create not only one robot, but also all the software infrastructure needed to make the two-legged robot do what they wanted. In other words, what will come out of the simulation is not just a robot, but universal software for rapidly learning humanoid robots. The MIT humanoid itself looks like a vertical version of the mini cheetah robot, but that appearance is deceptive. While the robot's torso and arms are very similar to the mini cheetah, the legs design is completely new and includes upgraded actuators with more power and more torque density. NASA will send the Da Vinci Plus mission to Venus in 2030. The Deep Atmosphere Venus Investigation of Noble Gases, Chemistry, and Imaging Plus mission will consist of a spacecraft and a probe. The spacecraft will track cloud movement and map surface composition by measuring thermal radiation from the surface of Venus, which escapes into space through the massive atmosphere. The probe will descend through the atmosphere, measuring its chemical composition as well as temperature, pressure, and wind. Skydio has officially launched its 3D scan software, turning the autonomous drone into a reality capture system. 3D Scan creates a model of the scene in real time, allowing the drone to automate the data collection processes needed to create 3D models with full coverage and ultra-high resolution. Space robotics is key technology for space exploration for scientific or commercial purposes. Interestingly enough, many space robots are tested on Earth underwater. For example, DFKI's Pulsar Test Basin hosted the first test of next-generation autonomous space telescope assembly technology in orbit. Chinese corporate giant Alibaba will develop unmanned trucks and robo-delivery vehicles with its subsidiary Cainiao, at least according to the Drone.com website. In doing so, Cainiao, a logistics company, plans to put out 1,000 man delivery robots on the road in China during 2022. Remember that in early 2021, Alibaba announced its computer simulator for testing drones. The system works autonomously and trains unmanned software 24 hours a day. And in Russia, the first unmanned logistics corridor will appear. It will be the M11 Neva-St. Petersburg-Moscow highway, and unmanned vehicles from absolutely all countries of the world will be able to drive along it. The Neva Highway will start from transit corridor for unmanned freight traffic through Russia along the shortest route from Europe to Asia. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and let us know down in the comments, what do you want to see more of from the world of high tech? And don't forget to turn on notifications and stay up to date on future tech developments. A thought-reading helmet, racing and military drones, Boston Dynamics news, robots for exploring other planets, micro-robots, robotic avatars, and other high-tech news in today's One Issue. Teleexistence, a company that develops warehouse logistics robots, has received another $20 million in development funding. The AWP robotics platform allows warehouse workers to perform work from home or their office, switching to other locations as needed. The developers at Teleexistence say they want to create a reliable working system and sustainable production, not a series of prototypes. We would like to wish them luck and point out that engineers succeeded not only in the structural, but also the design part of the project, and their robot does not cause the Evil Valley effect at all. Boston Dynamics released a video to commemorate the anniversary of the start of Spot's delivery to real-world workplaces around the world. Today, Spot works at hundreds of sites, from construction sites and power plants to mines and universities. And for some users, Spot has also become a trusted friend and helper. Remember that to date, there has been 500 sales of Spot the robot. By the way, the other day Boston Dynamics was the winner of the RBR50 Robotics Innovation Award 2021. Thanks to the development of a robotic arm for the robot. According to the jury, Spot Arm made the robot not just a data collection platform, but a highly skilled mobile manipulator that can interact with its environment. Scientists believe the mobile arm on legs is a new form factor that will change the traditional understanding of robot capabilities. Engineers from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology Zurich have developed an algorithm to control their bodies for four-legged robots in the microgravity of other planets. Thanks to it, the research robot Spacebok learned to turn around by moving its legs in flight and to push off surfaces at any given angle. Training with reinforcement helped the neural network teach the robot to move in the simulation, and then the algorithm was transferred to a real Spacebok model. During the experiment, the robot was attached to a moving platform using a bearing, allowing it to rotate freely in the plane. Cassie Blue's robot learned to walk over rough terrain at night without first mapping. The robot was helped in this by data from LiDAR and inertial measurement modules, which Cassie combined to generate a real-time surface elevation map. The US startup company Kernel, which is developing a mind-reading helmet, said it is starting to ship its devices to its first customers at a price of $50,000. Each helmet weighs less than a kilogram and contains multiple sensors that measure and analyze the brain's electrical impulses and blood flow at the speed of thought, registering how the organ reacts to the world around it. Basic technology has been around for years, but such machines usually take up an entire room, cost millions of dollars, and require that patients sit quietly in a clinical setting. A simple wearable device would be a breakthrough in brain research. Plus, Kernel engineers have developed a laser and computer chips that can see and record more brain activity than any previous tech. The only catch so far is two separate devices have had to be developed for different research purposes. One of them, Flow, looks like a high-tech bicycle helmet with a ring of sensors inside and a wire on the back that can be connected to a computer. This helmet is used to assess attention and emotional state in real time. Another helmet, Flux, measures the electromagnetic activity by assessing brain function, activity, and reactions to information. Kernel's founder believes that helmets will help everyone monitor their own brain health, so by 2030, he hopes to reduce their cost to a price of a smartphone. Alada Aeronautics racing octocopter passed its first unmanned test in the Australian desert. The Airspeed Mk3 is scheduled to compete in virtual drone races of flying cars 3 times this year, and in 2022, races with pilots are already being planned. The Airspeed Mk3 is an octocopter with 4 arms extending from the fuselage. At the end of each of them, there are 2 opposing rotors. The total power of the rotors is 320 kilowatts. The drone weighs 130 kilograms and can reach 200 kilometers per hour, and from 0 to 99 kilometers per hour in 2.8 seconds. The battery lasts for 15 minutes, but it can quickly be changed at pit stops during the race. Thanks to a built-in system with LiDAR, radar, and cameras, the racing octocopter will evade collisions by itself when detecting obstacles at given distances from itself. Estonia has authorized the launch of the Alve Tech hydrogen-powered unmanned shuttle on public roads. The unmanned vehicle will emit only water vapor and thermal energy into the atmosphere. There will be no operator in the 6-seat cabin, and all questions arising will be solved remotely. The drones will travel short distances, taking people from their homes to the nearest major transportation hub. The shuttles will appear on streets as early as July 5th. A team of scientists from the Nanyang Technological University in Singapore has developed a millimeter-sized robot that can be precisely controlled by magnetic fields. This opens up new possibilities in biomedicine and manufacturing. The robots are superior to their existing counterparts in that they have the ability to move with 6 degrees of movement. This includes translational motion along 3 spatial axes and rotational motion around these 3 axes. In addition, the new robots have 43 times higher rotation speed than their counterparts. Soft robots can both swim, like jellyfish, and reliably grasp miniature objects. Rovinso introduced the Rovio, an autonomous security robot. The robot is able to move independently on a route of its own choosing to detect not only intruders or unusual movements, but also fire, fluid leaks, or system malfunctions that could endanger human life. The silent robot is equipped with acoustic analysis, 3D laser scanning, night vision, and thermal imaging. The developers state that the robot can quickly overcome rough terrain as well as steps and stairs simply by adapting to their shape. IBM has sent its autonomous Mayflower on a long voyage. The drone will repeat the journey of the English ship of the same name, which crossed the Atlantic Ocean, rounded Cape Cod, and docked at Plymouth Rock in the 17th century. The drone's journey should take about 3 weeks. The 15-meter Mayflower weighs 5 tons and can travel at 10 knots thanks to a solar-powered hybrid electric motor. An AI captain is in charge of steering the vessel, which receives data from more than 50 sensors, including cameras, a radar station, an automatic identification system module, radio communication equipment for exchanging information with other vessels, including voice messages, and other systems and sensors. AI Captain is able to detect and classify vessels, buoys, marine debris, and land areas on its own. The drone itself collects information about ocean acidification, microplastics, and marine mammals. Boeing's MQ-25T1 drone made history as the first drone to refuel another aircraft in flight. Tested in June, the drone refueled an F-18 Super Hornet aircraft. Now the refueling drone will travel to a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier for testing on deck. DARPA demonstrated the operation of its CUAS counter-unmanned aerial system from the Mobile Force Protection Program. The device launched by a bunch of sticky tapes that entangle drone motors and disrupt their operation. It took the agency 4 years to develop a low-cost, reusable system that could be used even when traveling through populated areas. The Chinese ship Shenzhou 12 successfully delivered 3 astronauts on board the Celestial Orbital Station under construction. In 3 months, the astronauts, who, for the first time in orbit, will have to assemble and connect the station's equipment, which will be delivered by cargo ships. Later, 2 laboratory modules will be brought into orbit, which will be docked to the base. A total of 11 launches and just over a year will be needed to complete the construction. NASA has finally revealed its long-built Space Launch System, or SLS rocket, to take astronauts to the Moon. Engineers at the Kennedy Space Center installed the 65-meter-long main stage between the 2 launch vehicles. This is the first time all 3 key elements of a rocket have been together in a launch configuration. NASA plans to launch SLS on its maiden flight later this year. During the Artemis 1 flight, the SLS will deliver Orion, America's next-generation crew, to the Moon. No astronauts will be on board, however. Engineers want to test the rocket and spacecraft for durability before humans go to the Moon in 2023. Canon has installed artificial intelligence cameras in its office in China that only lets smiling employees inside. The management is confident that this will allow employees to relax and become more efficient, as well as make the work atmosphere happier. Thus, it's possible to book a conference hall for business meetings or assembly with only a smile. Canon thinks that such approach would be useful for state enterprises, schools, hospitals, and other institutions. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any news from the world of science and high-tech of the future.